The year was 1933, a time of great turmoil and uncertainty. America was grappling with the Great Depression, a devastating economic collapse that left countless families in despair. Millions were unemployed, and frustration with the government ran high. People were desperate for change, for hope, and for a way out of their dire circumstances. In this climate of despair, a chilling plot emerged. A plot to overthrow President Franklin D. Roosevelt and replace him with a dictator. This was not just any plot, it was a calculated move to seize control of the nation. This sinister plan, known as the business plot, sought to exploit the nation's vulnerability and crush American democracy. It was a scheme that threatened the very foundation of the country. Hatched by wealthy industrialists and financiers, these men viewed Roosevelt's New Deal programs with disdain. They saw his efforts to provide relief and recovery as direct threats to their immense wealth and power. They saw his attempts to regulate Wall Street and empower labor unions as threats to their wealth. To them, Roosevelt's policies were an affront to their control over the economy. To protect their interests, they were willing to betray their country. They conspired in secret, planning to use their influence and resources to orchestrate a coup. They envisioned a private army of 500,000 veterans marching on Washington, D.C. to force Roosevelt to relinquish power. These veterans, many of whom were disillusioned and struggling, were seen as the perfect force to execute their plan. In his place, they would install a puppet leader to serve their interests. This leader would be a mere figurehead, controlled by the powerful industrialists behind the scenes. The business plot was a threat to the very soul of America, a reminder that democracy is fragile. It showed how easily the principles of freedom and justice could be undermined by those with enough power and ambition. It is a story that demands to be told, urging us to remain vigilant against those who would undermine our freedoms. The lessons of the past remind us to protect our democracy with unwavering resolve. The masterminds behind the business plot were titans of industry, men whose decisions shaped the nation's economic landscape. At the heart of this conspiracy was a group of powerful businessmen threatened by Roosevelt's New Deal policies. Among the alleged conspirators were figures like Grayson Murphy, Robert Sterling Clark, and the DuPont family. These men, driven by greed and a sense of entitlement, convinced themselves that their actions were justified. They saw themselves as saviors of a nation teetering on the brink of collapse. Their willingness to betray their country for their own interests is a chilling reminder of the corrupting influence of unchecked power. The conspirators needed a figurehead with charisma, someone who could rally the masses and give their movement a veneer of legitimacy. They sought a person with public appeal to legitimize their coup, someone who could inspire trust and confidence among the people. They set their sights on Major General Smedley Butler, a highly decorated Marine Corps officer and war hero, known for his bravery and leadership. Butler, a two-time recipient of the Medal of Honor, was a champion of the common soldier, always advocating for their rights and well-being. Ironically, Butler's unwavering commitment to democracy and his reputation for integrity made him appealing to the plotters, who believed he could be their perfect pawn. The conspirators approached Butler, confident that his sense of duty and patriotism would lead him to accept their offer without question. However, they misjudged him. Butler was a true patriot, dedicated to serving his country and upholding its democratic values. As they laid out their plan, Butler listened intently, recognizing the gravity and the potential consequences of their proposal. He quickly realized that these men were willing to destroy American democracy to protect their own interests and gain power. Butler knew he had to act decisively. He could not allow their treacherous plan to come to fruition, and he resolved to expose the conspiracy and protect the nation he loved. Smedley Butler made a courageous decision to pretend to go along with the plot, a decision that would ultimately expose a dangerous conspiracy. While gathering evidence to expose the conspirators, he risked his life and reputation. He played his part masterfully, documenting their every move with meticulous detail, ensuring that no piece of evidence was overlooked. Butler reached out to journalist Paul Comforts, revealing the shocking details of the plot. Comforts, known for his integrity and fearless reporting, was the perfect ally in this dangerous endeavor. Comforts published Butler's revelations, igniting a firestorm of controversy and outrage across the nation. The headlines screamed of treason and betrayal. The American public was stunned by the idea of wealthy businessmen plotting to overthrow the government. The very fabric of American democracy seemed to be under threat. Congress launched an investigation, convening a special committee to investigate the business plot. The halls of power buzzed with tension and anticipation. Smedley Butler became the star witness, providing compelling evidence of the conspiracy. His testimony was a turning point in the investigation. His testimony was detailed and damning, exposing the dark underbelly of American capitalism. The room was silent as he recounted the chilling details. The nation held its breath as Butler, with unwavering conviction, exposed the lengths to which some would go to protect their wealth and power. His words resonated deeply with the American people. The government could not ignore the gravity of the accusations. The implications were too serious to be dismissed. Butler's actions highlighted the importance of vigilance in safeguarding democracy. Citizens across the country were reminded of their role in protecting their nation's values. His bravery serves as a reminder of the fragility of democratic institutions. Smedley Butler's legacy is a testament to the power of courage and integrity in the face of corruption. The business plot had all the makings of a blockbuster news story, yet the media's reaction was surprisingly muted. Some newspapers, particularly those owned by William Randolph Hearst, gave the story prominent coverage. Others treated it with skepticism, downplaying its significance or dismissing it as a wild conspiracy theory. The New York Times initially buried the story, only later devoting more attention as the congressional hearings progressed. Part of this hesitation stemmed from the newspaper's political leanings and the difficulty of proving the plot beyond a reasonable doubt. The conspirators denied wrongdoing, claiming their discussions with Butler were merely exploratory. The media's skepticism contributed to the public's uncertainty about what had actually transpired. The Congressional Committee faced a daunting challenge in investigating the business plot. They held weeks of hearings, interviewing witnesses and examining documents. The committee's final report, released in February 1935, was inconclusive. While acknowledging a giant lobby of political pressure, it stopped short of definitively confirming or denying the existence of a plot. This ambiguity left many Americans unsatisfied, with some seeing it as evidence of a cover-up. The committee's decision not to recommend prosecutions further fueled controversy. The lack of accountability angered many who believed the plotters should have faced consequences for their actions. The business plot had chilling echoes of the political turmoil gripping Europe at the time. The rise of fascism in Italy and Germany served as a stark reminder of the fragility of democratic institutions. The conspirators, while not necessarily fascists, shared disturbing similarities with their European counterparts. They believed democracy was failing and that a strong, centralized government was necessary to restore order. The plotters' plan to install a dictator revealed a chilling disregard for democratic principles. The business plot served as a stark warning about the seductive nature of authoritarianism. In the decades since the business plot, its legacy has remained a subject of debate and controversy. The lack of a definitive conclusion from the congressional investigation has allowed doubts to linger. Some historians dismiss the business plot as a historical footnote, a poorly conceived scheme that never posed a serious threat. Others argue that the plot represents a chilling example of the fragility of democracy. The business plot serves as a potent reminder of the importance of vigilance in safeguarding democratic institutions. It highlights the dangers of unchecked power and the need for an informed and engaged citizenry. The business plot has found a lasting home in popular culture, inspiring countless works of fiction. Its themes of conspiracy, power, and the fragility of democracy resonate with writers, filmmakers, and artists. The plot's enduring appeal lies in its ability to tap into anxieties about the concentration of power. In literature, the business plot has been featured in novels such as The Plot Against America by Philip Roth. In film and television, it has been referenced in documentaries and fictionalized accounts. The business plot's continued presence in popular culture speaks to its enduring power as a cautionary tale. The business plot offers valuable lessons for safeguarding democracy against extremism. It reminds us that democracy requires active participation and critical thinking. One crucial lesson is the importance of a free and independent press. A robust media is essential for exposing corruption and ensuring accountability. Another lesson is the need for strong civic institutions that promote dialogue and respect for diverse viewpoints. The business plot underscores the importance of transparency and accountability in government. The business plot holds profound relevance for us today. It reminds us that democracy is fragile and constantly under threat. The plot serves as a reminder that the enemies of democracy can come from within. It is our duty to remain vigilant, educate ourselves about the past, and challenge misinformation. The business plot stands as a testament to the resilience of American democracy. By remembering the lessons of the past, we can ensure that the flame of liberty continues to burn bright for generations to come.